Hello everyone, welcome to Rajeshwari's Commerce and Management Study Hub. I am Rajeshwari here. Let us discuss today the computation of closing stock or unsold stock. In the previous video, we have discussed about the consignment account, ledger accounts under the consignment, and computation of commission under different methods in the consignment account. Let us solve this question. Mr. A of Ahmedabad sent 140 cases of goods costing rupees 1000 each to Mr. B, Bangalore. Mr. A paid a carriage of rupees 2800, loading charges rupees 210, insurance and freight rupees 3290. Mr. B sold 120 cases at 1200 per case and incurred the following expenses. Landing charges rupees 470, unloading charges rupees 160, packaging 1800, warehouse expenses 1200. Calculate the value of closing stock. Here, the two persons will be involved. One is the consigner, another one is consignee. Consigner is a person one who sends goods to the consignee for the purpose of selling. Consignee is a person one who sells on behalf of consigner, and for the purpose of commission he sells the goods. So let us solve this question. Here, the details of goods is given, that is goods sent and goods sold details is given. From this information we need to compute the value of the closing stock. Let us calculate. The first step is we need to calculate closing stock. Calculation of closing stock in units. First, we have to take the total goods sent by the consigner. That is, goods sent by consigner. Total 140 cases. And from this, we have to deduct the goods sold by consignee. Goods sold by consignee. 120 cases. The remaining is called as closing stock. Closing stock is 20 cases. Right. So this is the closing stock. This is we have calculated in units. That is whatever units remained. For this we need to compute the value of the closing stock. That is second step. Calculation of value of closing stock. Value of closing stock. The cost of closing stock is, the remaining closing stock is 20 cases and per case it is 1000 rupees each. So total it is 20,000. Then we have to add the consigner expenses, because the consigner expenses are refunded by the consignee. That is why you have to add all the expenses. Consigner expenses, carriage. Carriage is 2800. Loading charges 210. Insurance and freight. Insurance and freight for 140 cases. 140 cases, because the total 140 cases is given, that we are going to take 3290. Now all this total is 6300, and these expenses are for the 140 cases, but we don't want for 140 cases, we need for only 20 cases. So what you have to do is, for 20 cases you have to calculate. So how you will calculate? The total expenses incurred is 6300 for 140 cases, that is divided by 140, and we need only for 20 cases, that is why we are multiplying with 20. So then the expenses will be 900. Okay. Now you have to add the consignee expenses also. Consignee expenses. Consignee expenses is landing charge. Landing charge 470. Unloading charge. Unloading charge 160. Total is 630. Now this is for 140. We don't want for 140. We need only for 20. So what you have to do is for 20 cases 630 by 140 into 20. You have to do. That is 90. Okay. Now what is the value of closing stock? Value of closing stock is 20 plus 900 plus 90. That is 20,990 is the value of the closing stock. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗು ಅದು ಟೋಟಲ್ ಕನ್ಸೈನಿ ಏನ್ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಕನ್ಸೈನರು ಕನ್ಸೈನಿಗೆ, ಆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಇಂದ ಕನ್ಸೈನಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ನ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗ ಕ್ಲೋಸಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್. ಈ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ನಾವು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಬೇಡ. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ದ remaining stock, that is closing stock, only for that particular stock we need to find out the value. ಆಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಟೋಟಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ನ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಇಂಟು ದ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಜೊತೆ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗ ಕ್ಲೋಸಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ, ಕ್ಲೋಸಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ದೆನ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕ್ಲೋಸಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್. Right? Yes. Let us solve one more question. From the following information, find out the value of unsold stock. Goods sent on consignment 1800 units at rupees 1200 per unit. Consignor expenses, packing charges 2000, insurance and freight 1000, loading charges 2000. Consignee expenses, unloading charges 1000, cartage 500, go down rent 250 per month. Consignee sold 160 units. So how many units sold? 1600 units. How many units sent? 1800 units. So from this, if we minus the sold, then we will get the closing stock in units. That is our first step. Let us find out the first step. Calculation of closing stock in units. Goods sent by consignor, total 1800 units. Out of this, goods sold by consignee 1600 units. Closing stock is 200 units. 200 units. Now let us find out the calculation of value of unsold stock. Value of unsold stock. Cost of unsold stock 200 units is remaining, and per unit it is 1200. 12 twos are 24, so it is 2,40,000. Now you need to add the expenses of consignor expenses, packing charges 2000, insurance 1000, loading charges 2000. Total is for 1800 unit, it is 5000. We don't want for 1800 unit, we need for only 200 units. So 200 units, that is 5000 divided by 1800 into 200 you have to do. Then we will get 555.55. Then add consignee expenses. Consignee expenses. Consignee expenses is unloading charges 1000, cartage 500, 1500 for 200 units, 1500 divided by 1800 into 200, that is 166.67. So the value of unsold stock is 2,40,722.22 is the value of the unsold stock. I hope you all understood. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.